my father's side of the family, which is here. And that's actually a picture of my grandfather when he was just married to my grandmother. And this is a picture of him with my father, or that's my father and his oldest sister. Then you have some tags again that I made with just old, stamps. I think this actually were from Heidi Grace, I believe. And then that's just a canvas stamp from Stampin' Up. This was, I think, an Inka-Dinka-Doo background stamp. I really like that one too, with the fleur-de-lis on the front. And then you have just some wildflowers and butterflies, and then family picture. And actually that was the family business that my grandfather started in Thailand. So he had a crab meat factory in Thailand, so I wanted to have something to recognize that part of the family as well. And then moving on to the actual tag. Now, this is from my grandfather on my dad's side. They were called the Millers, and again I have some embossed, a butterfly, and some old, this actually came from an old dictionary that I got at a used bookstore. And so I grunched it up and made it into pieces and then put it together on this tag. I'm trying to get it to where you can see the, the ripped look to it, but I actually really loved the way this one turned out. And then on the back, my whole family grew up, on my dad's side, they all grew up riding horses. They were actually trick riders in at the American Royal in Kansas City, and they used to do riding all over the country. So I made this one to pay homage to that part of the family. So they're the Millers. Dressage. Used a Cuttlebug folder, the Moroccan one, I think it is. And some images that I cut out and put on there. And then this was just a little envelope that I made. I don't remember what the edge thing was that I used, but I really liked it because that was one of the old buttons that I had that actually had a horseshoe on it, which I thought was just perfect. There's nothing in it though. And then just a little trim on the bottom. So that's that one. And on this, we have my grandmother. That was the age she was when she married my grandfather, who you just saw in the last one. And this is a great picture. This is actually them together riding off on their honeymoon on a, I think it's a 1920-something Harley Davidson. And I guess that was probably pretty high class back at the time. So it's pretty cute. This is actually an old slide. I used the same on the one before, I forgot to mention that. That actually is embossed with embossing enamel and colored to give it that sort of, leopard look. And this actually unfolds to give me several pull-out pictures. See that? And then on the other side as well. Okay. And on this one, this is my grandmother's mother, and she grew up in Arkansas. And I actually found these old pictures. These are real ones. This is well, I made copies of them because I didn't want to put. This isn't all acid-free because some of this stuff is like wallpaper samples and things. So I didn't want to do. This is just the background that I used, which is also a wallpaper sample. But this is the family. From her side, and I'm actually named after her mother, which was Irene. My middle name is, anyway. And this one folds open, and when I'm not messing around with it, this one goes in here. Believe it or not, that's actually a copy of an exact copy of a postcard that I printed and then grunched up and made it look old. So it actually turned out pretty well. This is an actual one of those old postcard prints of my family. Again, it's a copy of it, but looks pretty good for a copy. And then that was my great-grandmother and her husband, my great-grandfather. A picture of them out in Jonesboro, Arkansas on Easter Sunday. and some pictures of their old house, and again, some of these antique buttons to give it that authentic old look. And then once again, these were actually holding the thing in place. Those are some old hairpins or vintage hairpins that I found in my grandmother's collection, so I used those to hold the actual thing in place. My grandmother had a business of her own as well. It was called Alice Miller Interiors, and I found some old newspapers that had her advertisement in it, so I clipped out the advertisement and actually put that up on the wall, and then used some pictures, some stamps. I think it was from Heidi Grace, those little office stamps at the bottom to make it look like you're in her office. And then on the back side is, you know, again, the family name from that side of the family. And these were some old columns that she used to write in the newspaper. It was her way of advertising, and she would give free advice to people who would write in asking for some advice on, you know, how to decorate. The back of this page have an old button and some of this lace that I took off of my grandmother's stuff. I actually dyed it to make it more consistent because some of it was kind of faded and some of it wasn't. And then these are just some pictures. This all just flips up. I actually took a little piece of leather, put a hole in it, and then that's just a brad. And then that's pictures of the family. And then another family picture. But that's nice because it gives you quite a bit of space to take pictures. This is a clip that I embossed and made from a Quick Cuts. I used ultra thick embossing enamel on it to make that look like that. So again, more lace that I got from my Italian grandmother, and these are some copies of the old postcards that I actually found in my grandmother's collection. And then just a tag. This again was some grass cloth, which I really like. And then this is one of the first tags. That's for, this one's actually for me. My husband's name's Yerson, and we are both avid scuba divers, so this one's kind of in a fish tropical theme. And both of us are avid travelers as well, so that's why we did the tag like that. And if I go to this side, this is some pictures that that go into a big fold-out thing from my side of the family. So me and my husband. It's just us at sea and such. And this one had a little tag fall out. That should go there. This is for the final page. My sister's husband is actually, his last name is wrong. So, you know, you hope your sister's going to find Mr. Right. In this case, she found Mr. Wrong, and it worked out okay anyway. Anyway, that's just their wedding picture, and then on the back of that, it's a picture of their little baby, which I thought was pretty cute, so that tucks in behind there. And then I just love this paper. I found this, I think it was a Tuesday morning that they had a bunch of graphic 45 paper. I was pretty excited about it. This is actually a little tag for journaling, and then that's a picture of him with the baby at the hospital. And then on this side, it's I think it's On the Boardwalk or something like that collection. Again, another one of these flowers with the antique or vintage buttons. And then this just lifts up, and I did a little spot back here, which I think I actually did that. It's just some leftover glossy paper from all the printouts I did, and I used it with alcohol inks to make that background color. So it turned out pretty nice. And then I did little glossy accents around the side here to kind of give it that depth and shine to it. So really like the way that one turned out as well. And then on the last page, it's just a little picture and one more of these cute little vintage button flowers. So most of these, again, by the way, are wallpaper. This is wallpaper, so is the background here. The rest of these are actually paper that I got from, I don't know, just 2 or 3, you know, standard stacks. I think one of them's Heidi Grace, and I can't remember what the other ones are. But anyway, that's it. That's the end of the Heritage album. Hope you enjoyed it, and look forward to any comments or feedback you have. Thanks.